Us at this hour, Congressman Adam Kinzinger, nice to have you with us, sir.
Thanks, good to be here.
So, as I understand it, you were not in on any of these meetings today. You did not meet with Donald Trump. I know you told a local station in Chicago as late as last week you're not going to support him until he changes his tone. Have you had any contact, though, with some of your colleagues who did meet with him? And what are they telling you about those meetings?
Well, we're not hearing a lot about it. People are keeping it pretty close to the vest, and, obviously they don't want details of these meetings to leak out because then you can't really have the frank discussions. But, look, according to Paul Ryan, they had a good discussion. It was constructive. I hope Paul, the speaker, brought up things like, frankly, the need to talk about reforming Social Security for young people like myself to preserve it for current seniors, and issues like foreign policy. That's a big one for me. I've spent 6 years out here trying to talk about the need for a strong American foreign policy. And when you have our front runner out there saying basically that Vladimir Putin's a good guy, that's concerning to me. And so until I see that tone change, until I see him talk about people in a presidential way, which is sad that I have to say that, and have a coherent foreign policy, at this point I can't be supportive of him.
If he does, though, in fact, he's the presumptive nominee at this point. If he does become the nominee, as you mentioned, foreign affairs very important to you. You, of course, served in Iraq and Afghanistan, a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. What specifically, if he came to you and asked for some advice, where would you want to drill down with him?
Well, there's a couple areas. First off, foreign policy deserves a really mature discussion. It may be dry to some people, but it's a very important job of the president. And it doesn't deserve, just things like, hey, bring everybody home, or we got to come back and basically lick our own wounds here. There's real problems with doing that. So I think areas of the Middle East, how are you going to destroy ISIS? I think areas of Russia. Russia is tearing up Europe right now, including Ukraine. How are you going to push back against Vladimir Putin? The discussion about the Chinese basically building fake islands in the South China Sea. Saying America first is great. We all want to treat America first, but I believe that America has a mission, and if we fail to follow through on that mission, America, frankly, is going to be in the position it's been in other times we've isolated, where we find it back on our shores. And, frankly, the next generation of young people, like my generation had to, will have to put on the uniform and clean up the mess.
Do you worry about the next generation of your party? We're talking so much in the past week about the need for unity, a need that not everyone is behind. Donald Trump has said, hey, it'd be great if the party were united. Doesn't have to be. And in all honesty, we're seeing a lot of people with different belief systems and different backgrounds call themselves Republicans. Can the party be united, and how important is that moving into November?
I think we can, but that is on Donald Trump. I mean, this idea that, all these members of Congress have to just accept some of the things he's said is not true. I mean, just like any voter, we have to make decisions privately as well. This is on Donald Trump to unite the party, and I do worry about the next generation of GOP in that, look, I'm a conservative because I believe that a kid born into the worst environment should have the same opportunity as a kid born into the best environment. And I personally just think big government robs them of that opportunity. That's a compassionate way to talk about what we say, not, outlandish statements about division, exclusion, and everything else. If we want to survive as a party, and I think we should because I believe in our principles, we have to be an inclusive party that welcomes people that don't always necessarily look like us.
There's been a lot of talk about tax returns, as there always is when it comes to an election. Donald Trump has now said, he doesn't think we'll learn anything from his tax returns. He's not going to release them at this point until the audit is completed. That may not happen until after the election. Is it important for him to release those returns?
I think it is. I mean, look, there's a lot we need to know. He talks about his vast wealth. Release your returns, show us. There's nothing against releasing returns, even if you're being audited. So I think he should. I think the pressure is going to ratchet up, and ultimately he's probably going to have to do it. You may as well get it over with now. Let people know what you're about. Look, there are great people supporting people that support me, that support Donald Trump. I just have some concerns, and I think it's important to note them.
Real quickly, we have about 15 seconds. Do you want to meet with him at some point?
Yeah, I'd love to meet with him. I'm not sure if he's overly interested in meeting with me, though. We'll see.
We'll see who extends the olive branch first. Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger, appreciate your time today. Thank you.
You bet.